All right. Enter this trade thinking we're gonna go up and pump. Drag stop loss, and I get taken out.
Order filled.
Yeah, I've been dragging break even quickly. I find that I minimize the trade when it doesn't go right.
Order filled.
So I'm shooting for a short, thinking that we're gonna fill this gap. I mean, we just took out the high, so it makes sense to start shorting. And we also, before we hit 50% of the fair value gap. So to take this gap makes a lot of sense. Yep, just waiting for this gap to be filled, dragging break even. And we're about to get filled.
Order filled.
Perfect. All right, so at this point, I'm thinking that we're going to reject from the used fair value gap, which ends up being a loss. And, you know, after we already went through the gap, I should have just erased the gap, the fair value gap, but sometimes we still use it. Like, if I didn't think we were going to reject here, I should have just, went long instead to fill the gap again, but I didn't,
Order
so
filled.
I got faked out. And, you know, when things don't go your way immediately, you should just cut it short. And in my case, like as soon as I saw this hit the 50% of the fair value gap, I should have just cut it. But instead, I let the whole damn thing fill the gap.
Order filled.
Yeah, so almost filled the gap. And if you look,
Order
as we were
filled.
going through this, we created another gap in between previous fair value gaps. So I entered the longs thinking that we were going to head up and create a new high. And, when you're scalping like this, you're kind of always triggered to hover around the exit button. And, still struggling with trying to hold positions. Um, it's just hard. I mean, after seeing so many failures and things like that, like,
Order
you're
filled.
quick to go in and out of trades. So yeah, at this point, I'm like looking at this PD array, and I'm just like, okay, maybe we're gonna reject right here, which we do start rejecting at this PD array, the top of this, bearish candle right here, where it opened. So, but I'm looking at the candle, it's struggling to go down. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna just take the gap I mean, take the new high like I thought we would. So I'm gonna enter.
Order filled.
Good morning. So above us, we have a 1 minute fair value gap from probably like 2 days ago that was left over up here. So in my mind, I'm thinking, we're probably gonna hit this target and reject from the fair value gap. And this is sort of my confluence to, continue long. Come on. Come to the high. Come to the high. As I see we're approaching the high, I raise TP, just greedy. Put everything to break even so that we have a risk-free trade. So I do cut this early, um, you know, just a pussy.
Order filled.
All right, so
Order
I see
filled.
that we took the high, like we took a high, and then we took the high again, and it's at a standstill. It's struggling to go higher. So and it's short. We got a fair value gap right below us. So just thinking that we will
Order filled.
start heading down from there. And like if I just held positions longer, like we eventually get to where I think we're getting. Like, you know, and that's just some things I have to work with. Everybody has to work on their demons, right? Everybody got these bad habits, and you got to constantly remind yourself, you know, and, especially through journaling, like you need to work on this, you need to work on this, you need to conquer this. So, keep that in mind. I think I'm about to enter a short soon. Just waiting, being patient instead of trying to enter trades back to back. I mean, I'm not saying I don't do that. I still do that. I'm getting better at it. But yeah, so thinking we're gonna use this old fair value gap as like a BPR and enter the shorts and
Order filled.
feel like we're gonna bounce right there. But the way price is moving, I just end up chickening out. And just like that,
Order
if
filled.
I would have waited a little bit longer, boom, the target would have hit. But it is what it is.
Order filled.
So end up taking a short, thinking, we're struggling to go up. I think, we start heading downwards because we're creating these wicks with no candles closing below these wicks. So I'm just like, okay, so maybe like I take two losses next. So this is a loss, and the next trade is going to be a loss. But me realizing, hey, we keep wicking below, maybe we're gonna go up and then fall tremendously. Okay. So that's kind of what's in my head, like after I take these two losses. And let's just wait so you can see.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Yeah, so we created these wicks, no candle close below the wicks, and we got a fair value gap at below. So in my head,
Order
I'm
filled.
thinking we're gonna fall like tremendously. Um, as soon as we break this, I think I aim towards the bottom of this. Yeah, and the thing, if I could have changed something with this trade, I would have probably had TP way lower, just because, you know, already reached the high, struggling to come back up, and this was pretty much it that, we were gonna fall a lot.
Order filled.
And see, I should have just waited instead of closing that out myself. But it is what it is, and that's what happened today on September 5th. Hope this helps y'all.